Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Bryce with BS Media, and today we're going to be talking about 5 ways you can prevent burn-in on your LG OLED. Before we even get into these tips, though, I will say if you guys are kind of on the fence about getting an OLED and you're really worried about burn-in, I will say your worry should be pretty minimal. This is my third OLED that I've had, and the last one I had before this, I racked up about 2,700 hours on that panel, had no issues with burn-in whatsoever. With this one, I've had about 500 hours or so far. Absolutely no issues with that. So if you guys are pretty worried about it, really your worry should be pretty minuscule, because as time goes on, they keep getting better and better about the burn-in process, and they have all kinds of different features to help out with that. And some of these things we covered today will be some of those things that I'm talking about. They are just trying to come up with different things to, really ease those worries and, just make it where you can enjoy the TV and not have to worry about burn-in. All right, so we're going to get into the first tip here, and that is going to be called the logo luminance. So we're going to go to settings here. Okay, and we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to general, OLED care, OLED panel care, and it's actually called adjust logo brightness. But what this does is adjust the brightness of static images such as like logos of subtitles automatically. So that way, if it's constantly on the screen or you constantly have something in the lower right corner, left corner, top corner, whatever it might be, that way it'll take care of it and it actually dims it a little bit. So that way it's not super bright the entire time. And that's just a great way to not have to worry about, the Fox News logo or ESPN, whatever is going on. It's going to instantly take care of that and dim it, so that way you're not too worried about that static image on there for too long. Now, the second tip is the screensaver. So as you can actually see in the background, these are the screensavers that are going in the back. So if you don't have an app open or you have all your inputs turned off, these screensavers are going to automatically play from your gallery. And this is just a great way to, refresh your panel a little bit. It's going to have different things going on in the background. They're bright, they're colorful, they're pretty to look at. And it's just a great way to mix up your panel, so that way if you had some black bars going across the top and the bottom from a movie, or you've been playing games for hours, you can always just set this up and close all your apps out, close everything, or close all your inputs out as well, and this will start playing. I have mine to set to about 10 to 15 minutes that it'll play before the TV itself turns off. Usually I would just keep it on and let it keep going. That way it can just kind of refresh that panel and wipe away possibly any retention that it might have in the panel itself. So it's an easy thing and you don't have to do anything with it. It just plays in the background as you go. All right, so our third tip is going to be backlight control. And I know a lot of people really like keeping everything super bright and colorful. I don't blame you. I mean, it does look pretty, but on advanced settings, if we go into brightness, what you could do is even just lower the OLED pixel brightness or the contrast, at least just a little bit. If you have them cranked up at 100 and you turn on this peak brightness to all the way to high, that's going to effectively make it where retention is much higher. It's a lot more possible. If you have everything maxed out, I know everyone likes things super bright, or you maybe have a bright room. But if you tend to just lower these even just a little bit, I think it really does help out. So that way, if there is static images, it's less likely to retain any of that, especially if you're playing a lot of video games and you have a lot of different things on the HUD. You got your life bar, ammo, whatever kind of game it is, you might have all those different bars on the screen. So lowering it just a little bit might really help with that, and that's what I've always done, and it's worked for me in the past and currently. So it's just another thing to keep in mind, and you don't have to lower it by a whole bunch, especially with HDR. I keep my crank pretty close to 100, but if it's something just regular SDR formats, especially just watching local cable or just watching something over the air, you can always just lower that a little bit, since it's not, going to be high quality anyways. So that's tip number 3. All right, tip number 4 is something called screen move. It's something that's also within the OLED care panel here. And what that does, it's turned on here. It says the screen moves little by little at regular intervals. Prevent the screen from a recurring problem when the TV is on for a long period of time. So what it does is it just kind of gently moves the pixels as it goes. So if there's just something that's constantly, static on the screen, it's going to do basically what that adjust logo brightness does, but it does it for the whole screen. That's just an easy thing you could just turn on. You're not going to notice it. I think some people have said they notice these things, but I honestly have seen no indication that I can see it with the naked eye. So I don't think it's anything you should worry about. And it's an easy thing just to turn on and let it go in the background and let us do its thing. And number 5, and the last one here, is going to be this pixel cleaning at the top. So with this, LG recommends that you either do this after 2 hours, or not, I'm sorry, not 2 hours, 2,000 hours if you've had this TV for a while, or you've seen any kind of possibility of retention, like you've seen maybe a little bit of burn in or something like that, or any kind of screen uniformities. What you do is you can do a start now. And what that does is it starts to manually clean all the pixels on the screen. It tries to get rid of any deformities you might have in the panel. The only warning with this is you're not supposed to do this like all the time. So if you do this like every day or something, what it could do is actually shorten the life of your OLED panel, and you don't want that to happen, of course. So I would only do this after the 2,000 hours recommended, or if you have some kind of actual retention or you do see some kind of deformity in the panel, go ahead and set it up. I've done it, I think, once. It's not going to hurt you to do it at least a couple times every now and then, but you definitely should not be doing this every day, every week, or even every month, I would say. Just kind of try to spread it out if you're going to do that. You shouldn't have to use it that often. If you do have some more issues, then you might need to contact the place where you bought it from or your warranty, just so you can get that taken care of. All right, guys, with that being said, that is all of the 5 different ways you can prevent burn-in on your LG OLED. Now, a lot of these tips you can use on the Sony or the Samsung as well, but these are just specific for the LG, just because I know the settings are a little bit different on those different, on the different Sony and Samsung OLEDs. All right, guys, with that being said, that is all of this video for today. So if you did like this video, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell for my next videos, and leave me a comment and tell me what you think. Have you ever had any problems with burning on your LG OLED? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.